Coming up next on Arizona Horizon, a new report shows how corporations benefit financially from making political donations. Hear about a new cloud-based computing platform dedicated to scientists and learn about the growth of small businesses at Sky Harbor Airport. Those stories next on Arizona Horizon.
Arizona Horizon is made possible by contributions from the Friends of Eight, members of your Arizona PBS station. Thank you.
Good evening and welcome to Arizona Horizon. I'm Ted Simons. A new study by ASU's W.P. Carey School of Business shows that companies making campaign contributions specifically to tax-writing members of Congress wind up paying lower tax rates over time. Assistant Professor Jennifer Brown of the W.P. Carey School of Business is one of these study's authors, and she is here to talk about this report. It's good to have you here. Welcome to Horizon.
Thank you for having me.
So give me a better definition of what exactly the study looked at.
Well, we were interested in seeing what, if any, benefit firms get from their corporate political activity. And they can have a variety of tactics, a variety of things they can do in developing a corporate political strategy. So they can lobby, they can make campaign contributions. And so we just want to get a better idea of what future benefit do these firms, tangible benefits do these firms get from investing in the political marketplace.
And as far as corporate campaign activity is concerned, other than lobbying or direct, what else is involved there?
So corporate campaign activity is actually distinctly different from lobbying. So lobbying, they're going in and they're looking at, they're advocating for a specific issue, and there are really no limitations on lobbying activity. Corporate campaign contributions, that is contributions support directly to the candidate to get the candidate reelected. So lobbying, they're going in, they're trying to get an issue, they're advocating for a specific issue. These campaign contributions are what they are giving to the candidate to get them reelected. And there are limits on the amount of money that they can give. So the corporate sponsored PAC can give $5,000 per election cycle to per candidate. So a particular candidate, they can give them $5,000 in the primary and $5,000 in the general election. But that's going particularly to the candidate themselves.
Okay, so with that in mind, we're talking directly to candidates, not parties, not groups, or did you look at that?
We did not look at that, but the corporate sponsored PAC can also give to national party, to other kinds of things. But we looked at what they gave to the candidates.
And as far as okay, now we got the idea of what the campaign activity is. What about the benefits? How is that defined?
So the way we look at it is we look at a very specific setting. We look at, do they get lower tax rates? Other studies had looked at, do they just have higher returns in the market? Do they have higher return on assets? So sort of more general measures of outcome. The problem with looking at that, and looking at any kind of outcome is tricky. You know, do they get the vote they want, you know, when the votes come up? It's not really clear what they want. Sometimes they want a particular piece of legislation to be passed. Sometimes they want a regulation not to come into place. You know, they want, please put that regulation on the back burner. We don't want that regulation, or we don't want that particular tax to be passed. So it's you know, figuring out what is the benefit they derive and measuring that, that's actually a challenge when it comes to doing this research. So what we did was we looked at future long-term tax rates. So after they made the contributions, so we looked at a period here, they make the contributions. In the future, what were their tax rates? How much did they pay in tax in terms of their total book and cash income? And they pay lower. The ones who support more candidates, they pay lower rates.
So there is a direct correlation there. You found that correlation.
We did.
Were you surprised?
A little bit, because there have been some mixed evidence. So, you know, it seems pretty intuitive. Why wouldn't they? You know, why would they be giving if they didn't expect to get something? But we were a little surprised because there's a little bit of research that says, you know, these campaign contributions are pretty small amounts of money. They're small in terms of the total amount of money the candidate needs to get reelected. I mean, these candidates need a lot of money to get reelected to Congress, to get reelected to the Senate. And the amount of money coming from, you know, $5,000 is just kind of a drop in the bucket. So are they really getting something for that? And then they're actually small in comparison to the lobbying dollars. So we were a little surprised that we would find something. And then also there's some research out there suggesting that the corporation may not be getting the benefit, that the corporate-sponsored PAC dollars are really a perk of the manager. So the particular manager of the corporation, the corporate executive, he's directing the corporation to make campaign contributions, he or she, directing the corporation to make campaign contributions on behalf of the pet projects or pet candidates that he or she's interested in, and that would not translate to a benefit for the firm.
So are we talking about buying votes? We talk about buying access, a little bit of both? What are we seeing?
So what we say is that it's not about this direct buying of a vote. It's not like you contribute today and then turn around and you expect that legislator who gets elected to vote for what you want tomorrow. It is really a sort of long-term game. It's a long-term investment. What they're doing is they're investing in relations with these policymakers. And then what happens is the ones who have stronger relations with policymakers, relationships in place, when something arises that's important to them, a measure comes up on the Hill that's important to them, then they have a seat at the table. It's almost like an ear, right? You're buying someone's ear, and so that you have more of a chance that when your issue comes up, they'll listen to you, and then your lobbying dollar will actually go further.
You mentioned that this was intuitive. Last question here. I mean, why study this particular question? Because it is intuitive, and as you said, you got to wonder about people donating to campaigns where they don't expect anything in return.
I think it's just a desire to have systematic evidence and really to resolve these prior sort of mixed findings in the research about whether it's just the lobbying that matters or whether these campaign contributions, direct contributions to these candidates actually have influence, and where does the influence bear out? And we show it bears out in these lower tax rates.
So real quickly, what do we take from this study?
I think what we can take away from the study is that they make investments and that it's a long-term game and that they do it for the benefit of the firm and that they do see a benefit.
Interesting stuff. Good to have you here. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Tonight's look at Arizona technology and innovation focuses on how scientists and engineers can store, share, and analyze data through JetStream, a new all-science cyber-computing platform. A University of Arizona-based program known as the iPlant Collaborative will play an important role in the development and operation of JetStream. Here to tell us more is Nirav Merchant, co-principal investigator of the iPlant Collaborative and director of biocomputing at Arizona Research Laboratories, and Edwin Skidmore, iPlant's assistant director of infrastructure and head of the U of A's cloud computing platform known as Atmosphere. Good to have you both here. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
All right, what is JetStream?
So JetStream is a specialized service targeted for scientists and engineers to make it easy for them to make use of the massive cloud computing systems. And it is an interface that makes them really productive with the analysis.
How does it differ from what's available or what was available prior?
So prior, everything that you've seen so far has been capacity-based. It's big, it's large, but it lacks the interfaces to use them right away. So you get the capacity, but you spend more time trying to figure it out. This is something that you can use right away, and it's tuned for your science questions, your applications, your data. It's all there, it's connected.
And is this entirely cloud-based? How much is cloud-based here?
Atmosphere can integrate with multiple different clouds. So for Jetstream, there'll be 2 different cloud installations, and Atmosphere will connect both of those. So 100% will be cloud.
So it's cloud to cloud information, in other words.
Yes.
How did all this get started? Talk to us about the genesis of all this.
So Atmosphere was developed through our project, the iPlant Collaborative. Early on in the project, we realized the need for scientists to have access to highly customizable, shareable virtual machines, virtual environments. And so out came from that was Atmosphere, a very simple to use web portal to connect scientists to clouds.
And this is for scientists only. This is dedicated to scientists.
So scientists and actually educators who want to teach the next generation of scientists on how to do computing on the cloud.
Give me more information on the iPlant Collaborative here. What are we talking about?
So iPlant was established in 2008, and it was dedicated to create new infrastructure for plant scientists to address the next generation analytics. And after about the first 5 years, National Science Foundation, which invested $50 million, realized that what we had built was so generalizable that it was useful for life science as a whole discipline. And so for the next 5 years, they've asked us to support animal sciences and anybody in life sciences that needs to work with that size of data.
So as far as iPlant then involved with a Jetstream project, again, it's basically 1 and 2 is next, and we go on to 3 in the future? Is that what it's basically a step-by-step process?
Absolutely. Actually, this was something that was born here and is now national, and it is going to go international because we have 2 other projects that are funded outside the US based on this work. So it is really growing.
Okay, it's growing. Why is it important? Talk about cyber infrastructure and what is needed as far as the sciences are concerned.
Well, scientific discovery really is, in particular, using computational tools, there really is a need for scientists to have access, convenient access to compute and large storage. And particularly in this day and age where there's large amounts of data and very complex workflows to do analysis, Atmosphere and Jetstream will fit that need. Basically, making it easier for scientists to use the cloud and not have to worry about the details of what goes into building an infrastructure.
So we're talking huge data sets and complex analysis, all easier to get around?
Easier and shareable. So a scientist may develop a very complex workflow, and now they can share it very conveniently with other scientists and other engineers.
It sounds like we got a little more democratizing going on here as far as
You actually use the word that we like a lot, which is democratizing data and access. Earlier, the groups that had the large machines were the ones that were sort of at the forefront, and now anybody with a good idea, Jetstream is going to be free access. It doesn't cost you any money as a scientist. You write a proposal, you get time on it, and so if you have a good idea, you can work with it. You don't really have to worry about owning a big machine to do that. So you are very right. It is democratizing access.
What you've seen with Atmosphere, what you're going to see with Jetstream, a better indication for those who aren't involved in science and research on just what a difference we're talking about here.
So when you say difference as in between Jetstream and...
No, difference between before Atmosphere and Jetstream and what you're going to get.
That's a great question. So before Atmosphere and Jetstream, now using Atmosphere, when groups had to work together, as in virtual organizations, and come together, they spent more time shipping data, coming to agreement on standards. With this, all of it is already done for them, and then when they come up with an idea, and if you and I have to work using the same methods, it's all there. We don't have to try and decide, did I get the right method from you? Did you send me the right program? You are now using exactly the same thing. So there is a lot of reproducibility, there's accuracy, and the time to discovery is getting shorter, so you are bringing things to the market and research much faster.
Is there a learning curve dealing with all this high-techery? I mean, sometimes just getting to streamline, learning how to streamline can be as big a problem as streamlining itself.
Actually, that was the kind of the impetus for Atmosphere, is that we wanted to make using the cloud a lot easier. So literally, with a click of a button, a scientist or an engineer can start up a system on the cloud. So we want to remove those barriers to accessing the cloud.
So what kind of response are you getting from those in the life science, all sciences?
Actually, the demand has been tremendous. And actually, that was part of the reason why we were happy to be a part of Jetstream.
And talk about how Jetstream now is going to expand. How many folks are going to be involved? How far can this go?
So the folks involved are our collaborators at UT Austin in the Texas Advanced Computing Center and at Indiana University. But we also have a very nice group of collaborators who are based in minority serving institutions where they have no access to high-scale computing, and they're going to be our partners, and we're going to be giving them the same infrastructure and access. And what we are hoping is what's called federation, where other institutions, much like UFA, ASU, and others, will have their own cloud, and we will be able to connect them to form a much bigger ecosystem of academic cloud systems.
A whole lot of activity going up in the cloud. Any security concerns with all this?
Absolutely. I think security is a concern for anything that's online now. We are very conscious of that, and one of our collaborators in this, which is from University of Chicago, is going to be focusing on how do we manage identity, access, and so we spend a lot of time trying to make sure that the systems are protected in ways that the cybersecurity for it is not going to compromise anything that's in there. So we do keep an eye out for things, but yeah, security is a concern.
Is that an ongoing battle to make sure that security is in place?
Absolutely. With these new models, with new access, it's into these domains of cloud. There's always a challenge to make sure that we're as secure as possible, as well as making it as available to scientists.
And real quickly, another challenge I would think would be just keeping up with computer advances, correct?
Correct. And we have a team at the University of Arizona that is fantastic who are developing Atmosphere and propelling it forward, and they ensure that we keep up to date.
All right, and you're confident that you will be keeping up to date with all this?
Absolutely, and that's the purpose of cloud. You don't really care about what's below. You're focusing on what you want to do. So as the computers get faster, you just get better results. You don't worry about the new model that's below it.
Just make sure the cloud stays up there and doesn't come crashing down, right?
No thundering.
All right, very good. Good to have you both here. Thanks for joining.
Thank you.
We want to hear from you. Submit your questions, comments, and concerns via email at arizonahorizon@asu.edu.
The Department of Transportation recently named Sky Harbor as the #1 airport in the country for small business growth. In the last 2 years, 14 businesses, mostly restaurants, have opened their doors in the airport. Producer Shauna Fisher and photographer Scott Olson profile 2 of these local businesses.
It's the perfect recipe. Combine good food with good service, and the people will come.
Cervezas is a take on a European gastropub, but fueled with Mexican food. We call it a gastro cantina.
Gonzalo de la Melena opened Cervezas in Terminal 4 2 years ago. He says the keys to success at the airport are simple.
Speed of service is paramount in the airport business. Portability and convenience is also critical. People usually have just a few minutes before they have to get to their flights. So what makes operating in the airport different is that mindset of speed of service. We've driven our speed of service down to 3 minutes or less in order to accommodate the traveling passenger.
Over in the B Gates area, Helen Young and her business partner operate Sweet Republic, an artisan ice cream shop.
Because ice cream is all about traffic flow. We need lots of foot traffic, and there's no more foot traffic than there is at the airport. And we have a lot of people been asking us to, bring our concept to other locations.
Young says the portability of her ice cream, served in cups, cones, or shakes, makes it appealing for travelers. Open since March 2014, Young says she has already seen a tremendous difference in airport food offerings.
People are a lot more excited to come early to the airport and actually have a good time, have a good meal before getting on the plane.
Airport spokesperson Julie Rodriguez says Sky Harbor made a conscious effort to attract small businesses, and it worked.
We have had tremendous feedback, and social media is a really good gauge. Lots of positive tweets and Facebook posts about how great our food is. People are pleasantly surprised when they get near their gate and they find a favorite local restaurant, maybe a restaurant that may have an hour wait in another part of the city they can walk right in and enjoy here at Sky Harbor.
Mike Dixon is one of 100,000 passengers that pass through Sky Harbor every day. He says the airport is a great way to connect with local businesses and get an idea of a city.
What's interesting to me is to be able to see what local things are going on. So if you can catch that at the airport, that's kind of fun, because I'm not leaving the airport. I'm going to fly out in an hour, but if I get a flavor of what Phoenix is like, that's kind of cool.
Terminal 4 now has everything from a rib joint to soul food to full-service restaurants. De La Melena says when small businesses thrive at the airport, it's good news for the state's economy, too.
Small business ownership is really driving our economy for the state of Arizona. If you think about 97% of all jobs in the state of Arizona are small business owned. There's 400,000 small businesses, of which 100,000 are minority owned, growing at a rate 4 times faster. So the future growth of Arizona is really dependent on our ability to get more women and minority-owned businesses access to capital contracts and owning their own business. It's really the future.
The airport will soon be revamping its retail offerings in Terminal 4, followed by a rehaul of food and retail in Terminal 3. Thursday on Arizona Horizon, we'll talk about a new art exhibit involving research conducted on 2 Arizona endangered species. And that's it. That's for Thursday evening, 5:30, right here on the next Arizona Horizon. That is it for now. I'm Ted Simons. Thank you so much for joining us. You have a great evening.
Arizona Horizon is made possible by contributions from the Friends of 8, members of your Arizona PBS station. Thank you.